Hello, welcome to the Daily News Ukraine channel. Today is December 13th and our daily review of news about Ukraine. Ukraine needs the help of the civilized world to withstand Russia's terrorist attacks. First, we need modern air defense and missile defense systems to protect our sky. Over the past few months, we have received Western systems Iris-T, NASAMS, Hawk. We call on our partners to increase the supply of air defense systems because they will allow us to protect the civilian population, avoid the destruction of our energy system, prevent humanitarian disaster and a new huge wave of migration, Prime Minister of Ukraine Denis Shmyhal said in his opening remarks at the conference in support of Ukraine's civilian resilience in the winter period, organized by President of France Emmanuel Macron. Ukrinform reports with reference to the government portal. According to him, everyone is aware that Russia will continue launching terrorist attacks and will not give up its intentions to destroy the Ukrainian energy system. To avert this, Ukraine needs the help of the civilized world. Moreover, the head of the government of Ukraine added, assistance is needed in the rapid recovery and repairs of critical infrastructure. Shmyhal called on the international community to help with the supply of energy equipment. As reported, Ukraine's First Lady, the Prime Minister of Ukraine, and the government representatives arrived in France on a working visit on December 12. Photo credit, Denis Shmyhal, Facebook OL. The Russian army is shelling the civilian infrastructure of Zaporizhzhia region. An 83-year-old woman was killed. An 83-year-old local woman received fatal injuries during the artillery shelling of Maloletka. Her house and the territory of her household were damaged, the Zaporizhzhia Region Department of the National Police reports. Over the past day, law enforcement agencies received 23 reports on destruction as a result of enemy shelling. The Russian military attacked Zaporizhzhia region with artillery, MLRS, and rocket launchers. Huliapol, Orikhiv, Novodanilivka, Dorozhnyanka, Olhivsk, Chervon, Poltavka, Maloletka, Zaporizhzhia, Stepov, Plavny came under fire. The tensest situation is observed in Palahi area. The houses of the local population were damaged by the armed aggression in Orikhiv and nearby settlements. At night, Russian troops fired two S-300 missiles on the village of Zaporizhzhia. The missiles slammed into the area near the monument to soldiers fallen in World War II. The blast wave damaged a historical building and a cultural center. Nearby houses have broken windows, damaged facades, roofs, fences. Evidence was collected and criminal proceedings were opened pursuant to Part 1, Part 2 of Art. 438, Violation of Laws and Customs of War, of the Criminal Code of Ukraine. OL. Bakhmut is now the hottest area of the front, but Ukrainian defenders are destroying Russian ammunition depots and weapons. Indeed, Bakhmut is now the hottest area of the war. It is also the hottest area of the Eastern Front. Here the enemy launches the biggest number of artillery and other strikes, makes the greatest efforts to break through our defense lines. The enemy had a huge stockpile of the Soviet 122mm, 152mm ammunition for all rocket systems, but intensive warfare for 9 months depletes any reserves, and certainly the enemy has to address these logistical issues. In particular, we know that they deliver ammunition from distant regions. Moreover, the enemy is trying to speed up production, etc. In addition, we work every day to destroy their field ammunition depots and larger ones, Serhiy Cherevity, spokesperson for the Eastern Group of Troops of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, said during the nationwide telethon, commenting on the situation on the front near Bakhmut and Soledar. According to Cherevity, artillery is the main element of the enemy in the war, which they are still able to use seriously. The Russians use both tube and rocket artillery. At the same time, the Russian command has already given the order not to unload artillery ammunition closer than 100 kilometers to the contact line. We are doing everything possible to reduce the number of these divisions and destroy both their depots and the weapons themselves. In particular, 6 Grad systems were destroyed in Luhansk direction over the past day, the spokesperson said. Cherevity added that the enemy's advantage in terms of ammunition has significantly decreased, and given the accuracy of the Ukrainian strikes, the sides are nearing parity. OL. Patriot surface-to-air missile systems could appear in Ukraine at the next stage of the war with Russia. That's according to Defense Minister Alexei Reznikov, who spoke with CNN, according to Ukrinform. It's a long discussion with our partners because it's a very sophisticated and expensive system, so I think Patriots will also be on our battlefield, but at the next stage, Reznikov told a CNN correspondent. The defense minister added that the Ukrainian troops work every day to find better solutions to fighting with the Iranian-made kamikaze drones launched by Russia. At the same time, Reznikov emphasized that Ukraine also needs reconnaissance and strike UAVs. Read also, Ukraine's Air Force spox, Russia starts to launch Shahid drones from Sea of Azov, we need anti-drone systems. Electronic warfare is a very important issue for us, the minister added. As Ukrinform reported earlier, Minister of Defense Alexei Reznikov stated at a briefing in Odessa that the Russians continue to strike the energy infrastructure of Ukraine, as they are counting on pushing Ukraine toward negotiations. To date, Ukrainian prosecutors recorded 154 cases of sexual violence committed by Russian servicemen. Since the beginning of the full-scale military aggression of the Russian Federation, prosecutors have recorded 154 facts of conflict-related sexual violence. 6 servicemen of the Russian Federation have already been served with notice of charges. Indictments against 2 persons have been sent to court, 1 person has been convicted, the press service of the Prosecutor General's office informs. As noted, new facts of conflict-related sexual violence are being established in the deoccupied territories. Joint mobile groups of prosecutors, international experts, and psychologists work there. In particular, the law enforcement officers found out that the Russian servicemen had been raping a woman in Kherson region for 4 months. Since March 2022, another local woman was systematically stripped and tortured, poured with boiling water. The facts of gender-based violence were also recorded when the invaders took away the wives of Ukrainian defenders, who participated in the anti-terrorist operation in eastern Ukraine or had links with the armed forces of Ukraine, and tortured them. Prosecutors discovered more than 30 cases when the Russian military gave electric shocks to the genitals of local residents. In total, more than 100 facts of torture with the use of electric shocks against local men have been established, the Prosecutor General's office informs. As reported, Prosecutor General Andriy Kostin amended the Prosecutor's Office development strategy for 2021 to 2023 regarding the implementation of a survivor and witness-centered approach in conflict-related sexual violence cases. OL. During a technical meeting, Ukrainian experts provided Iran with sufficient evidence of the supply of Iranian weapons to Russia. That's according to the spokesman for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Oleg Nikolenko, who spoke with Ukrinform. We are not surprised by another objection on the part of Iran regarding the supply of their weapons to Russia. During a technical meeting, Ukrainian experts provided sufficient evidence to the Iranians. We have hundreds of recorded facts of shelling of the territory of Ukraine by Iranian drones, he said. The spokesman also emphasized that, no matter how Tehran continued to avoid recognition of supplies, the Ukrainian side made it clear, for Iran, the consequences for supporting the war against Ukraine will be much larger than the potential benefit from cooperation with Russia. Read also, military cooperation between Iran, Russia is a matter of global security. Podolyak, as reported, the official representative of the Iranian Foreign Ministry, Nasser Kanani Chafi, stated during a press conference on December 12 that Tehran is not a party to the conflict and allegedly did not transfer weapons to Moscow. Reporters Without Borders awarded Ukrainian photojournalists Yevhen Maloletka and Mstislav Chernov the Press Freedom Award for reports from occupied Mariupol. Associated Press photojournalists Yevhen Maloletka and Mstislav Chernov have received many well-deserved Ukrainian and international awards this year. Thank you for your dedication to your profession and your country. Many thanks to Press Freedom Awards for the recognition, Minister of Culture and Information Policy of Ukraine Alexander Tkachenko posted on Telegram. He emphasized that being a journalist during the war means having a special mission to be a reliable source of information, as well as being ready to give one's life for the truth. In this war, we defend our freedom of speech, our right to the truth. And journalists bring it to the world, the minister stressed. As reported, Maloletka and Chernov won the Deutsche Welle Freedom of Speech Award for their coverage of the war in Ukraine, in particular for their reports from Mariupol. Photo, tkachenko.uaol. Units of the 38th Separate Amphibious Assault Brigade are moving their base in Brest in the southeastern direction, toward the border with Ukraine's Volyn region. This is reported by Ukrinform with reference to the Belarusian Telegram channel. It is clarified that the convoy is heading along the R17 highway toward the town of Maloletka, 13 kilometers from the border, and the agricultural town of Mokryny, 3 kilometers from the border. As part of the convoy, at least 25 BTR-80 APCs were spotted, along with nearly 30 MAZ trucks carrying personnel and equipment, 3 120mm 2B23 Nona M1 mortars towed by MZKT Volet tractors, 2 fuel tankers, an R-145 BM command and staff vehicle, 2 communication vehicles, at least 5 vehicles of the Belarusian Border Guard Service, an ambulance, and 2 field kitchens. Read also, number of Russian mobilized soldiers increased in 3 Belarusian cities. Chairman of the Brest City Executive Committee has confirmed the relocation of the 38th Separate Amphibious Assault Brigade. This morning, the Ministry of Defense of Belarus announced the start of a snap check of the Belarusian Army's combat readiness. Today we were talking about those news. PM Shmyhal calls for increased air defense systems supplies to Ukraine. Enemy shelling villages in Zaporizhzhia region, a woman killed. Bakhmut is hottest area of front, AFU, destroying enemy ammo depots, Eastern Group of Troops, spox. Patriot systems could appear in Ukraine at next stage of war. Reznikov. 154 cases of sexual violence by Russian military recorded in Ukraine. MFA Ukraine, for Iran, consequences of backing war effort to be much greater than benefits of cooperation with Russia. Photojournalists Chernov and Maloletka receive Press Freedom Award. Belarusian military convoy heading from Brest toward Ukrainian border.